I am here with Youngry as well as Ying, who is the founder of G-Box Club. Can you tell us a little bit about G-Box Club?
Sure. So G-Box Club is a way to help people who have an on-the-go lifestyle. So we deliver essentials kits on demand. So if you catch yourself in a situation where you're sleeping over a friend's house, you don't have toiletries, or you don't have a change of clothing for your next day at work, we deliver that to you on demand within an hour.
I could see this being pretty popular and prominent with the millennials who live an on-the-go lifestyle. What are some examples of how this could be applied?
So our first product launch is really catered more towards women. I launched this with the idea of when women catch themselves in a walk of shame situation, or they're sleeping over at a friend's house, or they're wearing those high heels that we love. And we kind of, need more essentials than men do. Usually when guys sleep over somewhere, they look totally fine the next morning. Whereas for women, we have our makeup, our hair, our dress from the night before, the heels. It's really uncomfortable and embarrassing. So this kind of I made this to kind of solve that situation, solve that problem for us. And so for me, I'm wouldn't that be great if I could just order something on demand and be able to change out of my clothes and feel comfortable when I walk out the next morning.
Oh, that's awesome. I see it being applied to several people. So did you also partner with Postmates?
Yes. So originally I had this idea maybe to put it in hotels, or maybe even to be a subscription box for men. But I tried a lot of these ideas and it just didn't really click. And then I realized that there's still a lot of stigma surrounding this kind of hookup culture, and to kind of get over that, I decided the best way to get this product to people is not to have other people prepare for it, is to have it on demand. You don't expect things to happen, and this is kind of catering to that lifestyle. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow night. Maybe I'll meet somebody or meet a friend and we'll go to a different party, and you just don't know where you're going to end up sometimes. And so this caters to that. And so I partnered with Postmates, pitched this idea, and they loved it. And we're opening up our virtual store on their app starting next week.
That's incredible to be partnered with Postmates.
Yeah.
They have such a big brand presence, especially in hubs like San Francisco, LA. They're really popular. So how did you first get into this and entrepreneurship as a whole?
Well, I'm actually still finishing up my MBA at USC. I got my MBA not thinking that I was going to be an entrepreneur at all. I thought I was just going to get a regular job, be a consultant, be a douchey consultant.
No offense to consultants out there.
I have a lot of friends in consulting. And then I took a class, actually, Intro to Entrepreneurship. It was a half-credit class. Wasn't really thinking about it, just something to get, more credits. And in that class, we did a project where we had to build a company in a week and make it profitable. And you're put in a team, and you had to compete against other people in your class. And obviously, as a Type A person, I'm I want to win. And I just happened to have a 3D printing engineer on my team, and we were kind of trying to figure out what we're going to sell, and we had a million different ideas. Something that's quick, something that's easily implementable. And finally, we came down to the idea why don't we leverage all of our talents? So we have a 3D printing engineer. It's Valentine's Day coming up. Why don't we print 3D printed roses? And that kind of became a thing, and we sold 100 roses for $10 each, and that whole experience just was such an incredible experience to have an idea, see a product being made, and be able to sell it and get people transaction. We were out outside of our school building for 5 hours, and we sold 100 3D printed roses.
Wow.
And I was we need to bring that machine out here, because I feel people don't know about 3D printing. So that machine was what sold it. You're selling the experience. You're not just selling a plastic rose. You're selling the experience of owning a 3D printed, the this new technology. So, and then we took that idea and pitched it in our school-wide venture pitch competition at the Lloyd Greif Entrepreneurial School at USC, and got into the finals, was one of the top 5 teams to make it to the finals out of like 160 applications. And we got $5,000 from that. So.
Wow, what an intro to entrepreneurship.
Right?
Yeah, so you got hooked after that?
Oh, I was hooked because through that finalist pitch that we had to do, we had a month of customer discovery, and like through that month they coached us and like helped us figure out who our customers are, helped us like interview customers, and I was just so hooked on it. I would have never felt so passionate about something before in my life, and no job could ever, match that. So I was just hooked on that, and really wanted to keep going with like the startup life.
So obviously you're in entrepreneurship, that much is clear. Have you had any tough times being an entrepreneur thus far, or has it all been uphill like the Rose example?
No, I do feel like sometimes I get lucky. But no, it has not been easy. It's a very lonely road. I would say I kind of started this idea with a few friends, and things don't work out just because when you're building your team, you really want to find people who are also very like entrepreneurial, and that's a very specific skill set and very specific mindset, and not everybody has that like, yeah, I'm gonna take this and run with it, and that attitude or that skill set. So building a team, I think, has been really tough for me, and also my first venture, basically my first idea for G-Box Club was to be a subscription box for men to have in case the lady sleeps over. And I did an Indiegogo campaign, and it failed. And I learned a lot from that, and that was like, it was very tough to like kind of absorb all of that, and then absorb all the information that you're getting, like learning from that experience, and be able to pick yourself back up and be like, all right, well, that didn't work, but I know that there's still a need for it. Like, how do I further solve this issue? And so I pivoted from my initial idea of a subscription box. I realized men don't have an emotional connection to this. And it's also a stigma for them. Like, I don't want to have this around. Like, the girls gonna think I do this all the time, and I don't want to be that guy. So I realized I needed to reach them when they need it, and on demand was like the perfect thing. It's happening right now. It's big. Like, I think Uber really revolutionized the on demand customer experience, and people are more used to it, and I think that's why Postmates is able to follow, and I hope that G-Box Club will also follow as well.
Right, so you gave some great advice there. My last question is, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to any of our young entrepreneurs, our hungry entrepreneurs out there who are looking for not only a way to get into entrepreneurship, but some solid advice that you've experienced so far?
There's so much.
The one piece.
I feel like I know this one, and I'm like blanking out right now. I would say is don't look at the statistics, because people will be like, oh, 99% of business fail, or only 1% or less 1% get funded. Don't let that deter you from doing what you want to do, because there's a million reasons why businesses fail, and it has nothing to do with you or your skill set or what you're trying to do. So I think you don't have to like consider yourself part of the statistic. Like, if I think about it, I'm like, I'm a woman in entrepreneurship. Like, what is that statistic? like 0.001%. So don't let that deter you from what you're trying to do. I think you just gotta kind of figure it out and know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and be very mindful of like what you're good at and what you're not good at, and trying to find people that complement your skill sets.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
All right.